¿A dónde está papi? 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 ¿A dónde está papi?
Welcome to the Monday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Monday. It is indeed another week. Last night the power was out for quite a few hours, so that was a fun experience. In the cold. I think we might have stayed out of power for like maybe 3 to 4 hours. Fun times. Pretty good. Installed a new dryer hose for my AC. Nice. Nice. Okay, I got everything ready here. The previous one was disintegrating. PVC can only take the heat for so long. Sheesh. Yikes. Glad you got that sorted out. Alright, folks, let's get some of these headlines going. And we've got COP27 video.
In just days.
Cool. New one is internally heat shielded, so we'll see how that goes. Well, good luck. Hopefully that works out better than what you had previously. All right, let's get some headlines going, yeah? We'll see how much time we got. Let's do it. Let's start with some meme articles. Twitter pulls paid verification after impersonators flourish. The very smart Elon Musk decided that whoever was willing to pay could get the verified checkmark or whatever, and that went about as well as anybody else could have thought of. Could have called it. People were literally not impersonating. I guess like the word would be trolling, like these official accounts, because you could, for that moment, you could just buy a verification, and then of course you can change your name, and it looks verified. It looks official. So a single tweet was enough to send like this very greedy insulin company. Their stock plummeted. I think like 20-something% just after that one tweet from an account saying that insulin was free. Several other companies also getting trolled, including Tesla. Good stuff. Good stuff. So obviously, the very smart, uh, the very smart Elon Musk had to immediately turn tail on that one. They're exploring new ways. No. This is just Elon Musk being an idiot. Yeah. And not only that, he laid off like a whole bunch of people. He laid off a ton of people. So that went as well as could be expected. Twitter has suspended signups for its Blue subscription service after the initial rollout was marred by users who received a paid verification badge and then impersonated celebrities, politicians, and brands. He likes to run with a lean crew. That's one way of putting it. And Twitter users began noticing the change late Thursday when Blue subscription option was no longer in the sidebar menu. The sign-up page for Twitter Blue appears to still direct to a page with information about the service, but with no option to sign up. It was not immediately clear if or when the service would be restored. The sudden absence of the service, which CEO Elon Musk has touted as an important step as Twitter looks to increase revenue, sure, buddy, and decrease the prevalence of bots and trolls, adds to a series of whiplash product moves in 2 weeks. In the 2 weeks that Musk has controlled the company. One sales employee at Twitter said the company decided to pull back after a number of accounts began impersonating companies using account with paid verification badges, which look the same as Twitter's original verification badge for notable public figures and brands. Yeah, no shit. Even another Elon Musk venture, electric car maker Tesla, could not be protected from Twitter by an impersonator disparaging the brand. Nice. The employee, who has to remain unnamed, citing for fear of retaliation, because he's such a good guy. Said an account created in the likeness of the junk company Eli Lilly caused a particularly serious problem on Thursday when it tweeted out that we are excited to announce that insulin is free. That tweet went viral and remained on the social media platform for at least 2 hours before it was taken down. The real Eli Lilly account later tweeted, "We apologize to those who have been served a misleading message from the fake Lilly account." I love it. Eli Lilly's stock price dropped sharply after the fake tweet was posted, as did those of pharmaceutical companies, including AbbVie. Nice! Which was also impersonated. Nice. You know what? Whoever said that going on Twitter couldn't be praxis? And here we are. Twitter's going to need a big infrastructure overhaul. He may bring in some of his AGI programmers to create an entirely new verification system. Maybe. I don't know. He's a clown, so it's really... I mean, hey, if he torpedoes Twitter, that may be to like the benefit of humanity. So if he decides to torpedo Twitter into the ground, that's A-okay by me. That's perfectly fine. Which was also impersonated. Major stock indices were broadly positive, with the S&P posting its biggest rally in 2 years. Internal communications obtained by CNBC indicate that Twitter support initially determined that the tweet impersonating Eli Lilly did not constitute a violation of the company's terms and service. Nice. A sales employee said they encourage clients to tweet directly at Elon Musk about their problems. Sure. Twitter also reintroduced a newer official badge to some accounts. The company confirmed that news on one of its Twitter accounts. The pullback of Twitter Blue, also verified, comes as the company's new leadership is considering how to comply with oversight from the FTC. According to a company-wide email sent to employees on Thursday night, obtained by CNBC, Twitter's currently under a consent decree from FTC, which forces it to notify the agency about new products with a written plan, among other things. Some employees had expressed doubt about Musk's willingness to comply with the FTC oversight. Earlier in this week, internal communications on a company message board, which were viewed by NBC News, showed that employees are concerned about whether Twitter's new leaders would ask them to do any work that can comprise a violation of the consent decree or any other law and regulation. 3 of Twitter's top executives in the areas of security, safety, and privacy resigned on Wednesday. Musk wrote in a company-wide email on Thursday that I cannot emphasize enough that Twitter will do whatever it takes to hear both the letter and spirit of the FTC consent decree. If anything you read to the contrary is absolutely false. The same goes for any government regulatory matters where Twitter operates. Yeah, sure, buddy. Here's the thing. I don't believe a single word you say. Yeah, Twitter is a cesspool of human excesses. True. That's why probably Elon Musk wanted it. Musk did not immediately respond to an email requesting a comment. The FTC did not respond to an email requesting for comment. Attorney Alex Spiro added in a separate email that we spoke to the FTC about the continuing obligations and have a constructive ongoing dialogue. We will, of course, remain in compliance with the consent decree, and the legal department is handling it and happy to answer any questions. In his other businesses, Tesla and SpaceX, Musk often clashes with government regulators. For example, he was charged with civil security fraud by the Securities and Exchange, the SEC, basically. Proclaimed that he does not respect the financial regulations, accused him in court of trying to chill his free speech rights through their oversight of his Tesla and shareholder communications. He also accused the federal vehicle safety regulators, the NHTSA, of hiring a safety advisor who was biased against Tesla and of using outdated and inaccurate terminology. Yeah, sure, whatever, dude. He has accused the Federal Aviation Administration of having a fundamentally broken regulatory structure and after it failed to comply to approve a SpaceX test launch. Yeah, I know, dude. Sure, I know. Because you couldn't get it together, you're complaining that you didn't meet standards. Yeah, fuck off. Justin Bookman, a former FTC official, now the director of technology policy for the advocacy group of Consumer Reports, said Musk would be risking Twitter's finances if it is found to be violating the terms of the consent decree, and the cost would be likely a lot more than the $150 million fine imposed this past spring on the social media giant by federal regulators over accusation of deceptive practices. He wants to turn it into a combination of social media / commerce trade platform when he launches the Tesla Entertainment service. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where his head's at. Other than making money, and seeing how many people he can shaft while doing it. That's all that really matters to him. Echo Resto Dragon, how's it going? We're off the map here and all eyes are on him. He added that it would be a serious violation of the consent decree if Musk is found to have been stripping certain privacy or security practices or launching new products without proper security checks. In addition, the new pay checkmark program under the Twitter Blue subscription service is going to raise red flags with the FTC because it already led to the impersonation of celebrities and brands in a potentially harmful way. Yeah. In assuming someone's identity, most of it's playful, and a lot of it has been making fun of Elon, which is good. But there is a lot of potential for mischief. And after a lot of privacy or security executives left or were dismissed, you have to question if Twitter's security is still looking constantly for security holes as they should be doing, or if there's a dialing back in security efforts, and if that is going to increase some chance of a system failure. Probably. William Cavacott, I don't know how to pronounce this, an antitrust professor at George Washington University, who served as the FTC chairman during the George W. Bush administration, said that exodus of multiple C-suite level executives is going to raise alarms with the federal regulators, and at least they'll want to know what promises Musk can make to ensure Twitter's security safeguards, that Twitter's security safeguards haven't eroded. Should Twitter be found in violation of the consent decree, Musk would face major fines akin to the $5 billion settlement that Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg reached with the FTC in 2019 over alleged violations of user privacy data. Damn. Not only will you have to write a big check, but you'll see the imposition of further controls. Nice. Twitter's consent decree does not require CEO to certify compliance, but the FTC would force Musk to personally file reports confirming that every facet of the agreement is being followed, just as Zuckerberg has had to do as part of Facebook's settlement. Musk would get the Zuckerberg deal plus. Nice. Nice. Good stuff. Good value. So basically, Elon Musk is gonna have to make sure that he doesn't step into potentially several billion-dollar landmine. Um, all that while immediately walking back the absolute asinine idea of being able to pay for verified subscription accounts. Best case scenario, he torpedoes this into the ground because he's such a terrible business person. That's about as much as we can hope here. In another semi-meme article, mostly just like disturbing, really. I've been following Tesla for a while because it piques my engineering side. I'm not Elon fanboy, but I do understand a lot of what he's trying to do. He's not afraid to publicly make mistakes, and methods are a bit sus. But at the moment, human society kind of needs him. He'll likely end up as being the villain in the end. No, I don't think we need him at all. I don't think we need him at all. He's just like an absolute clown, and kind of an asshole. He's not ending up as a villain. He is a villain. He's just like a narcissistic piece of shit. And he's lucky that government gave him so many subsidies. So yeah, we absolutely do not need him. And his methods aren't just sus. He's just an absolute piece of shit. He's been known to be in trouble for union busting. As we saw, he's under investigation for the with the Security Exchange Commission. I mean, he's just a piece of shit who thinks he's above it all. So fuck him. Honestly, trust me, we do not need him. Humanity will be fine without Elon Musk. If Elon Musk disappeared tomorrow, like if just poof, Thanos snapped, we'd be alright. We'd be fine. Kari Lake, currently in a race for governor, I believe. Yes, governor's race. I think we should just read this article. Yeah, let's just do that. All eyes are on the vote for Arizona Maricopa County. As the race for governor comes down to the final tallies from the mail-in ballots across the state. Far-right candidate Kari Lake has urged her supporters to check the status of their ballots to determine if any need to be, quote, cured or corrected, with the too close to call race potentially coming down to outstanding ballots. What do you mean cured? Like, if you cast your ballot, that's it, dude. Her supporters reenacted a biblical Battle of Jericho outside Maricopa County tabulation, an election center on 12th of November, as pending results continued to show the candidate trailing behind her Democratic rival, Katie Hobbs. Yeah, this actually happened. You caught me out on time. Hey, there we go. I hope there's like video of this. Because like this is something that I think we should just see. Welcome. I know I started a little bit later.
Of the world and the Bill Gates of the world, and I'm slow to do this. They slow roll these results. They want to change the narrative. You've got election officials like the Stephen Richards of the world and the Bill Gates of the world, and I'm not talking about the Bill Gates, the big rich one. I'm talking about the poorer one that is trying to mess with our elections here. They're controlling the narrative of election night here in this great country.
What narrative?
And withholding.
Wait, this isn't a national race, dude. This is a race for governor. No results. Not officially. Not officially. Not officially. She's currently behind the last you know update that we have. Well over 20,000, something like almost just above 30,000 votes. It's we can safely say that she's not going to win. Carrie Lake's idea of elections is so 19th century. True.
And slow rolling results. I think it's despicable. Get the job done, guys. They bring out the early ballots. They say the Democrats are winning. Katie
Get the job done, guys. I want to lose faster. Okay.
Hobbs is not winning. She has never been winning. They're just not counting votes. And when you kind of slow down counting votes and you bring it to almost a screeching halt, and all you have are the early ballots, it makes it look like she's winning. And I can guarantee you she's not going to win this.
Yes, that's right.
They just want to change.
Yes, that's right.
Change the narrative and have the whole world saying, oh, I guess Trump's people didn't win. I guess America First movement is dead. It's not. It's very
well, a lot of his endorsements failed. So yeah, dude.
Very much
the biggest loser was Donald Trump.
Alive.
Oh man, I thought we were gonna. Oi! I thought we were going to get a video on that. Hold on. Let me refresh this. Maybe we can find a video of this. How do I close this? Aha. Okay. Never mind. I was hoping that we would find something. Wait a minute. Maybe I can find it. Yes. Here we go. Her supporters reenacted the Battle of Jericho outside the Maricopa County Tabulation Election Center on November 12th, 2 days ago, as pending results continue to show the candidate trailing behind her Democratic rival, Katie Hobbs. Ms. Hobbs is currently leading by 26,000 votes, with 93% of the vote reported. While election officials continue to process, verify, and count remaining ballots, Ms. Lake has continued to amplify false claims about the electoral process and baselessly cast doubt on its legitimacy. We cannot be the laughing stock of elections here in Arizona. No, the only laughing stock is you, my friend. And when I'm governor, which you won't be, I will not allow it, and I just won't. Meanwhile, in Arizona, police lab confirmed that it found nothing in an envelope that Ms. Lake campaign claimed that was sent to her headquarters early November, containing a quote suspicious white powder. Yeah. Let's take a look at the reenactment here.
God he raised from heaven above with wisdom, power, and love. Our God is an awesome.
This is your brain on Republican on the Republican Party. I'm still not entirely sure about people. People like Carrie Lake know what they are standing for. No, they know what they're standing for. They're standing against the very concept of democracy. Anything that involves like a legitimate vote that they didn't win is a problem. So that's what they stand for: power. That's the one consistent thing. Is power. That's what they want. At all costs, regardless if they were voted in or not. Yep, this is your brain on the Republican Party, folks. This is conservatism. Right here. This is exactly why it was so important to basically pump the brakes on this movement. They've always seemed to equate that with freedom, and in that respect, I think they're confused. Yeah, well, whenever they talk about freedom and democracy, I usually have drawn the conclusion that they actually mean the opposite. What they actually want is privilege and power. That's what they actually mean. When these people talk about freedom and democracy and all that stuff, and country and patriotism and whatever bullshit buzzwords that they can think of, they actually don't mean that. They mean privilege. By freedom, they mean privilege, and by democracy, they mean power. That's pretty much it. It's as close to that as possible, because that's all they care about. That's why their form of conservatism is kind of a mental disorder. Well, I don't know. I can't really say. I'm not a professional, so I can't really say. I don't know. I would have to, I would be not timid, but not skeptical, but I wouldn't use that terminology, if that makes sense. I don't know. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. I will say that behaving in a cult-like manner, because it is a cult. Make no mistake, it is a freaking death cult. You may want to speak to somebody if you find yourself that deep, You may want to speak to somebody if you find yourself that deep in it, That deep in it, in a rabbit hole of conspiracy theories, and just believing completely delusional things that are divorced from reality. Like this person. What she was talking about in that interview was completely divorced from reality. Completely. None of what she said about the election is true. She's just big mad that she's not winning. And all of this kind of stuff kind of culminates and really does manifest itself into some really disturbing stories like the one that we're going to cover right now. At this point, there should be a... at this point, I'm just going to issue a quick content warning. True conservatism is maintaining the status quo and trying to rein in the excesses of progressives and their conservatism. Their conservatism is rolled back to societal clock 200 years, where slavery is rampant and powerful. Yeah, I mean, like, make no mistake. They still, like, if they still at the end of the day move in that direction, right? They don't. That's what they want, anyways. They're just big mad that it's not happening now. And this is the end result. This is literally what happens. I would say this is a classic representation of what stochastic terrorism really what stochastic terrorism can produce. At the moment, there are no progressive excesses. No, but you got to make them up. Nope, you got to make them up. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. If when there's actually no enemy, you make it up, and you paint the target wherever it needs to be, and if it's not there, you make it up.
Neighbor shooting and killing a man over the weekend. Apparently, shooting and killing a man over the weekend. Apparently, because he was perceived to be a Democrat. WCPO 9 News reporter Jake Ryle walks us through what unfolded.
We should probably just put the audio on that one.
The call came in Saturday outside a home on
Let me just
Chapel
put the
Road
audio.
in rural Butler County.
My neighbor just shot my dad.
43-year-old Anthony King was shot and killed. Police believe King's neighbor, 26-year-old Austin Combs, is the one who pulled the trigger.
Do you guys have problems with your neighbor? Yes, he's come over multiple times making statements.
Dispatchers turned to ensuring King's son and wife, both at home, remain safe.
Is there anyone else in the household with you? No, just us two. Just you two. Stay inside the house. Keep the doors locked. I know that's hard for you to accept right now, but I need to make sure you two are safe.
The victim's wife said she had just finished mowing.
I was letting my dog out, and I heard shots, and I said to my son, what the heck was that? And I looked in the backyard, and that man's walking away from my husband.
She told dispatchers this isn't the first time that they've run into Combs. Those issues have stemmed from a perceived political affiliation.
He's come over like 4 times confronting my husband because he thought he was a Democrat. Why? Please.
Okay, we have...
understand.
Combs has been charged with murder. He's being held here at the Butler County Jail on $950,000 bond. In Hamilton, Jake Ryle, WCPO.
Yeah. So that happened. And now he's dead. Yeah. Oh, it's okay, Alio. I'm just glad that you're here. House of Representative results: 19 races remain to decide control. Yeah. We have no idea who's gonna end up controlling the House. I still think that it's most likely going to lean Republican. It's most likely going to lean Republican. But there is a world. There is a scenario where the Democrats hold the House. There is a scenario where the Democrats hold the House, but it's really going to come down to out of those 19 races that are still yet to be called, it's really going to come down to a handful of those. Walter, how's it going? They're really just casually killing people because of their political views, because they're Democrats. That's the difference. This whole Democrats are demons. Yeah, and who invented that? Alex Jones. Alex Jones. This BS needs to stop. They are Americans, period. Yeah, like, the point being is that this is a classic example of stochastic terrorism. This is just too much. It's orange now. What does that mean, Michael Hass? I think I asked you that, or maybe I asked chat that. What does orange mean? Very, very chilling video from this 911 call, because some dude probably radicalized. Now here's the actual article. It's right here. Because he was radicalized probably on the internet. Well, Gates and one other person could be kicked out of the U.S. House. The Republicans are leading in the House, but it could change. Yeah. I'll still maintain my my prediction where Dems hold the Senate. It happened, and the House is going to be a toss-up, most likely favoring Republicans. Oh, orange. Okay, gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Now that makes more sense. I think you already explained this to me, but I must have forgotten. Thank you. Yeah. Is it like set that the Republicans are going to win? Because it doesn't seem sure. It doesn't seem clear. Versus like, okay, the Senate is pretty clear. House of Representatives results 19 races. Yeah. It's too close to decide. Okay, cool. Does it make it convenient the Orange Party is in Florida, though? True. The first thing I thought when I saw the orange was Trump. Well, you got it faster than I did, I guess. They're gonna act foolish? Who, the Republicans? Boebert and Lake and other Republicans could lose. The recounts may be done in 10 races anyways. Gotcha. Well, Lauren Boebert, I think she might retain her seat, if you ask me. I thought she was going to lose, and then I ended up eating my own hat, so I don't know. Orange juice is going to just taste bad going forward now? Nah. Anyways, deeply disturbing story. This is your brain on republicanism, folks. It's not done yet. No, it's not done. But I don't know. I mean, this is going to have to go to an automatic recount, right? I don't know. So far, it's still stuck at 99% with her leading by just about like 1,000 something votes. It is razor close. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on, chat. It is razor close. Razor close. Yeah, it's gonna be recounted. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna make the difference though. Like 1,000. I mean, I don't know. It just looks like she's going to win by a very slim, margin. But Massachusetts GOP Governor Charlie Baker says Trump hurt the party's chances in the midterm election. He didn't just hurt them; he torpedoed them into oblivion. He didn't just hurt them. He didn't hurt the chances of the GOP. He single-handedly torpedoed them into the ground. Which, thank you, Comrade Trump. Truly, really, the MVP of the night was Trump. And now, Trump pretty much taking out any oxygen Ron DeSantis has of any any presidential aspirations. Which, thank goodness for that, because fuck that guy. There's no red wave. No, not at all. Not even close. Not even close. We'll do, let's do one more good news. Or maybe potentially good news. Since that one was a pretty rough story. Potentially good news. We'll see how much action is behind these words. Bipartisan, there's still 3,000 ballots, plus or minus, could be counted yet verified. If Lauren Boebert, for Lauren Boebert's race, the control of the House could come down to one of those races, including hers. Really. If there are about 3,000 plus ballots, and Lauren Boebert loses, that may be an early Christmas for me. That may be an early Christmas. To have her lose her race, oof. Bipartisan Senate group says they're confident they have the votes necessary to codify same-sex marriage. The bipartisan group working on legislation to codify same-sex marriage has the votes needed for the bill to pass and is urging leadership to put it on the floor for a vote as soon as possible, multiple sources told CNN. Bipartisan group, which includes GOP Senator Rob Portman, Tammy Baldwin, Susan Collins, Kirsten Sinema, Tom Tillis, said in a statement Monday that they look forward to this legislation coming to the floor. Through bipartisan collaboration, we've crafted common sense language to confirm that this legislation fully respects and protects Americans' religious liberties and diverse beliefs while leaving intact the core mission of the legislation to protect marriage equality. We look forward to this legislation coming to the floor and are confident that this amendment has helped earn the broad bipartisan support needed to pass our common sense legislation into law. Finally, in 2022, we get the possibility of codifying same-sex marriage. Raid, welcome everybody. Welcome, everybody. Is this where the capitalism is? Yeah, it's right here. That is correct. That is correct. This is where all the capitalism is. In fact, if you were to go look up the definition of capitalism, it would link you to this channel. Folks, welcome in from Levelhead. If you guys have not seen me before, I am A Difficult Truth. I do the news, I do the politics, Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Today we started a little bit late, but that's okay. In fact, I'll just tell the story. So, for the folks who hang out here in the weekends or no, we've got a new addition to the family, and that is Buddy the cat. And Buddy the cat has decided that he's going to probably hang out with us. And we took him to the vet. So I had to go to the vet today and drop off some samples because it looks like our poor little buddy has some worms. So we need to know what to do and which medication and whatnot, or if he has anything else. But yeah. Forgive Levelhead for his pet Chud. Oh, poor buddy. Read and Rap, how's it going? Welcome. Folks, if you have a second, head on over to twitch.tv/Levelhead and go show them some love. Go show them some love, follow, and all that awesome stuff. We were just actually talking about the possibility of Congress, well, at least in the Senate, having the capability or possibility of codifying same-sex marriage. So that's possibly a good thing. Any action behind that will remain to be seen. I appreciate you bringing all your wonderful folks in, Levelhead. If you guys want, strap in, grab a drink. We're doing the news. That's right. A difficult truth, saving news and the cats. That's right. Saving politics and the cats. If you could replace 95% of your meals for life with mashed pumpkin, lard, and African Uganda Kideni, 3 dolphin... What are you talking about? What is this? What? What is this random scenario? Why would... What? Okay. Makes total sense. So as we were going, you guys came in actually at the beginning of this story. So I guess we'll just keep going. The bipartisan group working on legislation to codify same-sex marriage has the votes needed for the bill to pass and is urging leadership to put it on the floor as soon as possible. Through bipartisan collaboration, we've crafted common sense language to confirm that this legislation fully respects and protects Americans' religious liberties, diverse beliefs, while leaving intact the core mission of the legislation to protect marriage equality. Thank you for the follow, nonetheless, Raffle. You get your free cat emote. There we go. Also, I forgot to tell you guys, if you guys follow, you do get a free cat emote. You do get a free cat emote. And also, I forgot to thank Alio for the 10 biddies. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, see? There you go. Look at all these wonderful cats. All these wonderful Bakita the cat emotes. There you go. Walter, you can do it too. You just have to type out her name. Although it won't show up on your end, but everybody here can see it. Through bipartisan collaboration, crafted common sense. Yes, we remember Democrats are hoping to pass this legislation during the lame duck session. But as Monday morning, it was unclear when that would happen. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer on Monday took procedural steps related to the same-sex marriage bill, setting up the first test vote on Wednesday. What if we're dog peeps? I don't have a dog emote. I don't have a dog, unfortunately, or else they would be an emote too. But that's okay. That's okay. Actually, the co-host that hangs out in the co-host that hangs out on Sundays does have 2 puppers. Maybe we should make one of her puppers an emote, if that will make the dog folks happy. Yeah, there you go. There you go. You just put the cat and then the little cow emote and it works. True, Sir Yogi. How's it going, my friend? Sprocket from DYD. That's so cute. I'm going to set up the first procedural vote on legislation that will codify marriage equality into law. Members should expect the first vote on Wednesday. All right. We'll see. No American should ever be discriminated against because of who they love, and passing this bill would secure much-needed safeguards into federal law. True! The fact that this isn't a thing and it's taken up to 2022 is embarrassing, but hey, we're moving. Oh, that's a cute emote too. In early September, Schumer vowed to bring the bill to the floor for a vote in the coming weeks. The Senate will hold a vote in the Respect for Marriage Act in the coming weeks, so that no American is discriminated against because of whom they love. He said, adding that he hopes enough GOP senators join Democrats in support of this passage. Nice. I'm good. Not normally up this time, and good to catch you. Been a while. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Unfortunately, we started a bit late, and as you know, we've switched the time. Roma, what is Roma? ROMA? The bill needs at least 10 GOP Senate votes to overcome this filibuster and advance legislation towards the final passage. Well, we'll see if that materializes. We'll see. Base tomatoes? What does that mean? Oh, Roma tomatoes? Did I miss something? Yeah, I'm lost. Oh, Respect for Marriage Act. Yeah. That's the name of the bill. Yes. Oh, okay, never mind. I see what you were trying to do. Okay. I gotcha. No, yeah, it's called the Respect for Marriage Act. Not they goobered the acronym, so now it's RFMA. There you go. Whatever, it can be Roma in your head, okay? We'll see if this materializes. But nonetheless, a good thing. Federal student loan debt relief halted again by appeals court. Signature Biden plan put on hold. Yep. I don't know what this has to do with anything. Nor do I know if this is true or not. But regardless, yeah, dude, Biden did some really dumb, Biden did some really bad stuff. Yeah, we know. However, this is the Senate who is currently putting this up. And if Biden signs it, then that's good. So bringing this point up is moot. Doesn't make any sense. If Biden tomorrow gets a bill on his desk that says we're going to codify marriage equality and he signs it, then that's it. That's all that matters. Globus the Elder rating with a party of 5. Welcome. Grimpy Coffee. Welcome. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate that. Welcome. A back-to-back raid. Nice. Appreciate it. Welcome, everybody. If you guys don't know who I am or haven't seen me before, I am a Difficult Truth. I do the news. I do the politics Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure that if you end up staying and end up enjoying the content, hit the follow button. You get 5 free emotes. We're just talking about the potential for marriage equality finally being codified. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you, Globus, the Elder, for bringing your wonderful folks over here. let me give you a quick shout out, folks. Make sure you check out twitch.tv/Globus underscore the elder. Globus underscore the underscore elder. Free stuff, that's right. And all you got to do is hit a button. Look at that. Thank you for the follow, Arberlin. Appreciate that. Free stuff, indeed. Civil marriage is inevitable. Cool, dude. Yeah, that's a good thing. What's your point? Is there a point underneath this dribble? Free stuff sounds like socialism. True. I watched something that would be right up your alley. It's about how the latest volcano that erupted in Tonga is causing all the mass flooding in Australia in the past few months. It goes into detail about what affects the Australian weather patterns and how the eruption is causing a change in the way it acts normally. Sheesh. Yikes. Everything affects everything. A volcanic eruption can have a way of messing with the weather patterns. Google Obama HAARP. I don't know what that means, dude. You okay, buddy? Are we getting into Alex Jones territory? Maybe I should whoa. Maybe I should redo your redo that story for you. About how nonsense like what you're talking about stochastically led to the death of somebody. Free field timeout, Raffle, if you need to. They'd like to strap in the main topic. Don't worry, trolls are my speciality. Trolls are my speciality. People have people like this are what I live for. They give me life. I want to be buried with all my bit unlocked emotes. How's it going, Why So Dankness? Dealing with people like him is it probably increases my lifespan. It was underwater, so push vapors into the air and pushing wind systems further south. True. But you know that Sir Yogi makes too much sense. Obviously, that makes too much sense. So the clear explanation is Obama messing with the weather patterns. Obviously, as entirely incoherent. Oh yeah, well yeah. Clearly, very noted. Devil EMS, very noted. Duly noted, I should say. Duly noted. A federal appeals court blocked President Biden's student loan forgiveness program, further crushing the hopes of more than 26 million Americans who have applied for this relief, discouraging millions more who were eligible for the boost and potentially killing the president's signature program. You can thank Republicans for this. The Eighth Circuit Court of Appeals granted an injunction sought by 6 Republican-led states that argued Biden exceeded his presidential authority when he cited COVID as a national emergency to cancel student debt. But Trump, but Trump didn't exceed his authority when he declared a national emergency to build his racist vanity project at the wall. Yeah, cool, dudes. Nice consistency. To cancel student loan for millions of borrowers, the state also said that they would lose out on future tax revenue under Biden's plan. It's the second decision by a federal court blocking the program in a matter of days. A U.S. district court blocked the program on Thursday in a different case, which that judge was an appointee from Trump. So cool, dude. Can we just take a second to talk about this? So I saw like during the weekend when this news broke out, a lot of people what is this? Oh. Something funky's going on behind the scenes over here in the USA Today website. Yikes. They need to get on that. So when this news broke out that a judge blocked the student debt relief, immediately the first thing that I saw was a Russian state media account saying that, the Democrats lied to you and they were never going to do this, and they shut the door as soon as you voted for them. And then we have people like Brianna Joy Gray repeating these, or maybe making her own origin point for this nonsense, saying things like, the Democrats lied, and then they promised student debt relief, and as soon as the vote was over, conveniently, the door was shut in your face. Except none of those clowns decided to ask which judge and appointed by whom. It's really infuriating. Yeah, dude, none of this makes any sense, and nobody really believes you because none of this makes sense. Listen, if you have any evidence for any of this incoherent dribble, feel free to message it to me. But otherwise, if you have no evidence for any of these claims, why are you talking about any of this if you have no evidence of this? That would be my question. What does this have to do with anything furthermore? It's like you're all over the place, my guy. Ooh. There's a chance the program could be revived. The administration could appeal the decision to the Supreme Court. Ha! Yeah. Appealing this decision to the Supreme Court is I don't know. I don't think the Supreme Court's gonna back you up on that one, buddy. Although it's unclear how the conservative majority would rule, the appeals court reversed a lower federal court decision that ruled 6 plaintiff states, Arkansas, Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, South Carolina, failed to establish a standing to bring this challenge. Of course. And now 2 of the 3 judges who reviewed a ruling were appointed by former President Trump. The 3rd was tapped by George Bush. This is what happens when Republicans win elections, folks. Look at that. Damn. In reaction to the ruling, the White House press secretary, Jean-Pierre, said that the administration is confident our legal authority for the student debt relief program and believe it is necessary to help borrowers most in need as they recover from the pandemic. The administration will continue to fight these baseless lawsuits by Republican officials and special interests that will never stop fighting to support the working and middle-class Americans. They're probably back unitary executive, whatever it's called. I don't know what that is. You lost me on that one. Why so dankness? I feel like I've seen your username before as well. Are you a fellow majority reporter? I feel like I've seen your username. The appeals court... Oh, sorry. Yeah, here we go. The appeals court ordered a temporary halt on the rollout of Biden's debt forgiveness plan until final decision. The White House urged student loan borrowers to apply for the relief even amid uncertainty. The Education Department has since stopped taking applications following the outcome of this Texas case. Yep. Biden signed an executive order in August to grant forgiveness. Debt forgiveness following a campaign promise held by young voters and progressives. Biden called the debt relief plan under the HEROES Act, which was passed after 9/11 sparked an American-led military campaign against terrorism. Sure. The act gave the administration authority to forgive student loan debt in association with military operations or national emergencies, which the White House cited the COVID pandemic classified as a national emergency. we get around Twitch communities. I see. I just recognized the username. I'd like to get your opinion on something, and it might be relevant since you interact with news media regularly, if that's okay. Yeah, sure, go for it. Shoot. Under the president plan, borrowers could be eligible for up to $10,000 or up to $20,000 in debt relief, depending on their income and whether they receive a Pell Grant in college. Borrowers must earn less than $125,000 a year, or reside in households that make no more than $250,000. As many as 40 million people would qualify, and some would see their balance entirely erased. Carpetbacks, how's it going? Howdy, howdy. So we just watched a really weird video while we were in Levelhead stream called Why You Shouldn't Read the News by the channel Sisyphus 55, stating that we shouldn't watch and read the news because the modern news cycle prioritizes tragedy and outrage and doesn't provide in-depth understanding of a topic. They use examples of no one reporting on the financial crash of 2008 before it happened. The conclusion that we came, no, I'm never late. I'm always early. And I'm always on time. The conclusion that we came to as chat is that their criticisms were misguided. There's plenty of legitimate sources of news, and the solution shouldn't be to ignore the news altogether. True! A better solution would be to promote media literacy. True! What? Yeah, of course. And be able to distinguish between legitimate news source, evidence, and stories and facts. Similarly, supporting local news, especially leftist local news outlets, can help provide information that one can immediately act on. Do you think our conclusion is on point? And did we miss anything? No, I think that's something that should be that should be a goal. In fact, often, well, maybe not often enough. But from time to time, we'll take a piece and we'll have a little media literacy, session where we take an article and just be like, look, this here is problematic because of X, Y, and Z. Or we'll take like a video of a media personality, whether it be mainstream media or not. It doesn't matter if you present yourself as a media personality. It's fair game. And just go over the type of sources, how they present it, where they get this information, and whether or not it's, legitimate, right? I think you should be sent to jail for this. True! It's consumed the news, insisting on keeping themselves hooked to garbage. But the reason why that exists, and the reason why that's, perpetuated, prioritized, the reason why this happens is because they gotta make money. They gotta make money. Becky, how's it going? Folks, if you have a second, please consider going to twitch.tv/BeckySphere. There's so many wonderful folks in chat. How am I supposed to keep up with y'all? Welcome, Becky. How's it going? Do I have you? Yes. Okay. So you're VIP. All right. Cool. If you see a little diamond next to the person, they're generally speaking a content creator. Beckysphere does streams and more importantly does YouTube videos about climate. She is a climate communicator and does climate recaps and stories and streams regarding climate change stories. Post a link to that vid in the stream discussion channel on your Discord for you to check out. I could see you being able to do a stream based around this topic. Literally had another major flood happen yesterday. Sheesh. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to take a look at it after stream. I wish you made sense, Raffle. Becky is based. True. You're gonna have to make it unprofitable not to sue this, not to spew garbage, which is, lowest common denominator outrage. Yeah. 100% mono. To give you the TLDR, yes. But good luck on that one. People want to feel something, and in lieu of life, that means meaningful, and sometimes that seems harder and harder, and they'll take what they can get. Yeah, and whatever gets the clicks and whatnot. Yeah. Is actually a good counterexample to that video's claim, because she does great long-form content that's very substantive on climate. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, people have, like, what I would say is that it's a very myopic way of looking at the news, because it's not always like that. And furthermore, there are plenty of people, not only on the mainstream news, but also in alternative media or independent media, whatever you want to call it, that do phenomenal jobs doing their reporting and whatnot, right? Like, I select the articles because I'm not a journalist, right? These are two different things. I select articles based on what I think would give value to people knowing, or what I think is important, in my opinion, that should be brought up to the attention. It's in my bio. My job or my goal is to obviously bring attention and awareness to issues that do not get the attention they deserve. That's it. Individuals have to make conscious efforts to overcome the base instinct to suck down clickbait. Tucker Carlson. Yeah. I know. Listen, Mono. I know. We're before I start thinking before I start thinking about it too much, because that's really some black pill stuff. I guarantee someone was reporting or talking about a financial crash before the 2008. Yeah, you just gotta know. You just gotta look for it. So I'm willing to bet his example of no one was reporting on the crash before it happened likely is inaccurate. Yikes. I'm a trained journalist, but I call myself a news regurgitator. That's me. Hi. What were they thinking? They weren't. Brought to you by Coca-Cola, whatever. The states questioned the authority and argued that they would lose money from future tax revenue via quasi-state agencies that service student loans. The Eighth Circuit specifically upheld the state's legal standing. The district judge in the case had previously dismissed the case on those grounds, and legal critics said the proving standing would be the biggest hurdle for those looking to block the president's debt relief plan, unless you got friendly judges. The judges agreed with the state's argument that the quasi-state student loan servicer, Moella, for lack of a better word, would suffer as a result of the president's plan to forgive billions in debt, and that would affect the state of Missouri. Damn. Gotta think about those loan servicers. I tried to be a trained journalist, and there was a deep state plot against me. Yep. I believe it, Mono. COP28 is in the UAE. Oh, yeah, no, this just keeps making more and more sense. Yeah, this keeps making more sense. So, you know what? Why don't we just do a whole entire tour of every single, like, big fossil fuel producing state, and just do that. I was doing a NCTJ course of UK journalism certification. Course canceled a month without warning. Damn. Yeah, screw it. We'll just do a whole tour. COP29. They just keep hiring more cops, man. True. I call it COPE at this point. All these the COPE 28, COPE 25. Lecturer is going to be working at the college. Damn. That sucks. I'm checked out and have given up. Sheesh. Talk about a black pill moment. Yeah. Trying to do that course took me off welfare for an entire month and month's cash despite of only being off it for 3 days, and then I lost the cost of living payment too. Sheesh. Yikes. So I lost 700 pounds. Yikes. Who knew that the Matrix movie where prophetic surface societies plugged into MSM and other corporate media and progressives are underground trying to wake society up in reality while constantly being under attack? Yeah, but only to find out that they're... No, I'm just kidding. Only to find out that they're also in the Matrix and it was all a ruse. I don't know, I'm just making memes. But yeah, the point is, like, of course, mainstream media, especially those that are private, they are... they're companies, and their main priority is really, how to make more ad revenue and whatnot. No, I know you're kidding with the deep state plot. It sucks. It sucks. Hey, Alt Miss Frizzle, how's it going? There's a friendly from Backosphere's community. Welcome. How are you? I'm hanging in there. It's pretty freaking cold here. I'm back on my black pill tip, to be honest. Well, as much as I would say that, like, now's not the time, I can't exactly blame you either. Given the circumstances. It's not easy. It's not easy. This unanticipated financial downturn will prevent or delay Missouri from funding higher education at its public colleges and universities. Due to Moelola's financial obligation to the state treasury, the challenge student loan debt cancellation presents a threatened financial harm to the state of Missouri. Well, hasn't all these payments been on hold for months and months and months and months and months, and yet it doesn't seem like they're facing any type of, like, serious financial harm? That's a strange argument. The federal government had requested a limited injunction in its response to the appeals court, and the judges denied that request too. Given Moelola's national role in servicing accounts, we discern no workable path in this emergency posture for narrowing the scope of relief, and beyond Missouri, tailing an injunction to address the alleged harms to the remaining states would entail delving into complex issues and contested facts that would make any limits uncertain in their application and effectiveness. In an October letter to Missouri Representative Cori Bush, a Democrat, Moelola wrote its executives were not involved with the decision of the Missouri Attorney General's office to file for the preliminary injunction in the federal court on September of 29, 2022. They added the servicer is faithfully fulfilling its obligations pursuant to the federal servicing loan contract. As a government entity, it does not have shareholders and does not exist to make profits. Any available funds... Wait! If it doesn't exist to make profits... Wait a minute. So then where's the harm? What? I put in job applications to ASDA and they asked me to do 4 different psychometric tests and haven't asked about my work history or quals yet. Sheesh! Any available funds above reasonable operating needs and reserves are devoted by Moelola to student financial aid. This is like bog standard retail job. Sheesh. It's difficult to predict how the nation's highest court will respond should the Justice Department appeal. Conservative justices outnumber the liberal justices 6-3, but the Supreme Court has twice batted away other suits aiming to halt the loan forgiveness. We shall see. But all of this nonsense, you can thank Republicans for that. You can thank Republicans for all this. This is a direct result of Republicans winning elections. That's it. It's a shameful It's shameful state that embarrasses the rest of the country, like Texas or Florida. Yeah, we Texas and Florida are in particular egregious. Someone redeemed a dab. All right, I'll do a dab. Yeah, I love living in Texas. Yeah, yeah. Texit, true. Alio raiding with a jeez. It's back to back raids. Wow. Holy yikes. Thank you all for this support. Thank you. My husband and I drove past a big U-Haul and asked me about moving to Colorado. Sheesh. I mean, if it's within your ability, I'm just saying, you know. Folks, if you guys are coming in, welcome. I am a difficult truth. I do the news. I do the politics Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern time. If you guys want to hang out here and enjoy the content, don't forget to hit the follow button. You get 5 free emotes. Welcome everybody from Alio's. Yeah, I prefer true. Damn, true. Welcome everybody. And if you guys have a moment, head on over to twitch.tv/AlioShare. Susie Foreman with 100 biddies. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, there's a little Bernie Pop figure. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Folks, we are just talking about how Republicans have managed or are attempting to completely torpedo any assistance when it comes to financial aid for students. Please tell him to take it off. No! Leave Bernie alone, okay? How do we know if this isn't Tim Pool wearing a mask if he keeps the beanie on? I guess you're just gonna have to find out. Oh yeah, you're redeeming a get up. Alright, I'm getting up. Hear me out on this. F Republicans. True. True. Won't anybody think of the poor, underrepresented, predatory loan servicers? True. We gotta protect them at all costs. I don't know. Like at this point, it just almost seems like they just like, they just want to like F, you know, F the people, right? That's really what it seems like. It's like petty. Because this would like palpably benefit a lot of people, like tens of millions of people. It just seems very petty. But on top of that, like, you know, I guess you're gonna have to protect the, you know, predatory loan servicers at the same time, I guess. Not that kind of Republican. No, they don't want to lose their political talking points. True. All right, 1 second, folks. It has been asked of me to get up, and so I shall. Is Trump okay to F? Yeah. There's always it is always okay to say fuck Trump. I don't pass judgment on other people's sexual preferences. No, that's not what they're saying. No. If you want to F Trump, that's up to you. Also true, but also that's not what they were saying. Jesus. I'm gonna have to reel you guys in. What is going on here? 1 second. I'm a well-known IRA member. Sure, dude. Okay. Now that we've gotten ourselves up, folks, as we continue this story, if you guys have a second, and want to support this channel, consider going to the YouTube channel, our YouTube channel, and hitting the big red subscribe button. Alio with another 10 biddies. Wow, you guys are being very generous today. No, I'm good, thank you. I have to read this judgment to see which program this affects. This is this is like the federal program that Biden intended on assisting with federal loans and Pell Grants. Yeah. The 8th Circuit Court of Appeals granted an injunction sought by the 6 Republican-led states that argued Biden exceeded his presidential authority when he cited COVID as a national emergency to cancel student debt loan for millions of borrowers. The state also said they would lose out on future tax revenue. Oh yeah, we went over this. All right. No, I think we completed this story. Sorry, I got distracted by chat. TLDR, if this plan gets torpedoed, it's because of Republicans completely, 100%. They're the ones leading lawsuits to end this program. They're the ones who, while they were in power, appointed federal judges that have led to these decisions. This is 100% on the Republican Party here. That's it. That's it. This is what happens when Republicans win elections, pretty much. If the Republic isn't worried to death about paying their student loan, they might get, yeah, true. Damn. In another episode of Billionaires Create Job Loss, create job loss. They do. That was a Freudian slip. I try to be clever. In another episode of Billionaires Create Jobs, Amazon to lay off thousands of workers. E-commerce giant Amazon is set to lay off thousands of corporate workers as soon as this week. New York Times and Wall Street Journal report that Amazon is seeking to lay off as many as 10,000%. Whoa, 10,000 people, or 3% of the retail's white-collar force. Sorry, 10,000 people, 3%. Don't listen to me, okay? According to the journal, cuts are likely in its money-losing hardware division, which includes digital voice assistant Alexa. Boo. A spokesperson for Amazon did not respond for a request for comment. The company's chief financial officer told investors on October 27 earning that Amazon was taking actions to tighten the belt, including pausing hiring in certain business and, giving the boot to people. To 10,000 people. Cool. Just like how Tesla fired a lot of people. Not Tesla. I'm sorry. Twitter, Facebook just laid off a bunch of people too. Yeah, damn. These billionaires are sure creating a lot of jobs. Low Earth Orbit. How's it going? Howdy. Oh, the public spy hardware. Alexa. True. Although, to be fair, all these virtual assistants are like freaking spies. The one for Android literally listens in and speaks when nobody's called its name. It's really creepy. Like, I'll be talking to like my partner, I'll be talking to my girlfriend, and like all of a sudden, like the little assistant will be like, "I didn't catch that, bro." It's creepy. Thank you for the follow. On top of that, thank you, Low Earth Orbit. Appreciate that. The online retailer is facing tough consumer environment after 2 years of the pandemic fueled growth. Oh no! It must be so hard being Amazon. After doubling its warehouse footprint, Amazon sales have slowed, and the company is looking to slow its expansion. You know, I have a feeling I know where cuts can be made. But that's just me. Anyways, the point of bringing this story up is to reinforce that idea. Billionaires aren't job creators. Not by a long shot. We've repeatedly seen massive layoffs in these corporations. And yet, nothing significantly impacting, like, you know, the owners of Amazon or Twitter or Facebook at all. Trump lawyer says he designated seized Mar-a-Lago documents as personal records. So I guess you can just seize things and just say that this is mine, and so it is, apparently. Lawyers for former President Trump are arguing that hundreds of documents that the FBI seized are personal because he said so. Damn, dude. Wow. Not how it works at all. Not how it works at all. But federal prosecutors say he cannot deem these records personal simply by saying so. Yeah. In a new court filing, the Department of Justice also accused Trump of gamesmanship by saying that he will assert executive privilege over dozens of documents if a court-appointed watchdog rejects his claim that they are, quote, personal in matter. Sure, dude. They're laying off because they likely outsourced those jobs, and I think my employer might recently taken on Amazon as a client. Damn. No bueno. Not good. Not good. It's just like when you outsource things like that, it's usually not good. It's like how they outsource like their drivers who are treated like shit. Yeah. The war over what Trump's reported words mean is playing out in a federal court in Florida, where the former president's lawyers and attorneys for DOJ briefed the judge last week on the status of issues related to the records seized in early August from Trump's Mar-a-Lago club in Palm Beach. The legal briefs were unsealed Monday. The DOJ is criminally investigating Trump for the removal of government records from the White House and possible obstruction of justice related to the lag in getting those documents back from him. More than 100 documents were marked classified. What I'm arguing is that they no longer exist as like an Amazon thing. They just get outsourced, which there would be people there for the job anyways, right? You didn't increase the amount of employment, if that makes sense. You just increased the amount of work. Like somebody just took in an extra contract or a new contract. Like, how do I explain this? So, okay, here we go. A hiring, what are those things called? Recruitment place that often outsources those jobs. Like the place that I work technically let us go, but those people working like, you know, outsourced call centers are still there. They're just getting another temp agency. Thank you. Yes. They're just getting another extra plate on their hands. That's it. Meanwhile, the people that were actually working did indeed get laid off. Those places suck. True. Speaking from personal experience, and I'm sure that this can be corroborated, it definitely sucks. DOJ is criminally investigating Trump for the removal of government records from the White House and possible obstruction of justice related to lag in getting those documents back from him. More than 100 documents were marked classified. Government records are, by law, the property of the government and must be transferred to the National Archive Record Administration when a president leaves office. Right, so they're not his, not by a long shot, and nor do I see an avenue where that would even be a defense. There are places in my town that only hire from temp agencies, like they go hunting through them for who they can exploit the most. Yes. That's true. I'm so glad I don't have to deal with that anymore. It's really, it's exploitative. A court-appointed watchdog known as Special Masters, known as a Special Master, is reviewing the records to determine what should be barred from being examined by the DOJ as part of its probe due to possible privilege. Those include the documents being personal or subject to executive privilege. During their filing last week, Trump lawyers wrote that Presidential Record Act authorizes a sitting president to designate records as personal records during his term in office. Okay, but, well, I mean, that doesn't make sense, right? What if those records are incredibly sensitive? I don't think you could just make them a personal record if that's the case. What if they're really sensitive? I don't know. The question now before the Special Master is therefore whether a president has the authority to decide whether a document is presidential record or personal record. Both the plain language of the Presidential Records Act and past court decisions answer this question in the affirmative. Trump's attorney went on to say that he's still serving as president when the documents are packed and transported and delivered. Yeah, but there's like a process for that, right? Employment agencies make layoff people easier because they're not actually laying people off. They're just suspending a contract with another company. Ah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. Yep. No, it took me a second to like understand. I'm like, but wait, wouldn't that mean? No, yeah, you're right. That makes sense. On top of that, like they're incredibly exploitative. And temp agencies pay like garbage, whereas like, if you were to just be employed by that company, you would be making more money. And I know this because this happened like as soon as I became like a native employee, I guess, or a company employee. Like it's completely different. It's just wild that that's even like thing, but whatever. He designated the decision he was president of the United States. His decision to retain records as personal is entitled to deference, and the records in question are thus presumptively personal. No, that's not how that works. No, that's not how that works. Attorneys also argued that the Special Master has not been asked with assessing correctness of Trump's designation of records. It is the president's designation, not the appearance of or content of a given document, that is determinative. DOJ lawyers scoffed at those arguments. In their own brief, Trump may not designate records qualifying as presidential records under the Presidential Record Act as his personal record simply by saying so. Right, there's a freaking process to that. The lawyers added that neither the law or judicial precedent gives Trump the ability to ignore statute by removing the presidential records from the White House, retaining them without authorization in a personal storage space, and then deeming them to be personal. Right. The employees are usually told they have like 60 to 90 days or something to prove themselves for the final position. Only a few will stay. It is trash. True! That's exactly what happened to me. I managed to make it though. But it really is like that, though. DOJ also argued that if Trump categorizes a document as personal record, then he cannot assert executive privilege. Right. The lawyers that wrote the personal records are the ones of a private character which do not relate to or have an effect on a president's performing their duties, while executive privilege protects the presidential communications related to the performance of official duties. Trump apparently recognizes that a document cannot be both a personal record and one protected by executive privilege, and has identified dozens of records that he asserts executive privilege only if the Special Master rejects his assertion that a document is a, quote, personal record and determines that it is a presidential record. Sheesh. Employment agency I was with never told our contract was ending at the place I was. The place told me when I asked about next week. Damn. But yet we are expected to give 2 weeks notice or whatever. We're supposed to be responsible, and we're supposed to give 2 weeks notice ahead of time so that they can hire somebody else or whatever. But the employers can just fire you off in a blink of an eye. Cool. Nice. Very nice. Very cool. The special master should not indulge this type of gamemanship, the lawyers wrote. The DOJ attorneys went on to say that Trump cannot assert executive privilege to withhold the seized documents from investigators. Either way, they noted he has asserted executive privilege over just 121 documents, more than 2,900 seized. Because of that, there's no basis to continue restricting the government's review and use for criminal investigation purpose of the remaining 2,794 documents. The special master should therefore recommend the court's injunction as to those remaining documents which bars the DOJ from viewing them for now be lifted. Yeah, we'll see as these things progress, as this case progresses, if there's actually anything that comes of it. It would be nice. It would be nice if there was a world where accountability mattered, that we would see some action against Donald Trump for obvious, like, what can only amount to obvious crimes that he's done. We'll see.
In just days, our planet's population will cross a new threshold. The 8 billionth member of our human family will be born. This milestone puts into perspective what this climate conference is all about.
He's my president.
How will
True.
we answer when baby 8 billion is old enough to ask, what did you do for our world and for our planet when you had the chance? Excellencies, this UN climate conference is a reminder that the answer is in our hands. And the clock is ticking. We are in the fight of our lives, and we are losing. Greenhouse gas emissions keep growing. Global temperatures keep rising. And our planet is fast approaching tipping points that will make climate chaos irreversible.
And yet, we continue to do what amounts to fuck all, essentially. I mean, yeah, things here and there, but realistically, the amount of things that need to be done versus like what we're actually doing is nowhere. Yeah, it is catastrophic if we continue. If we continue down this path, 2.5 to 3 degrees Celsius will be quite achievable. Should we continue down this path? I mean, we're already barreling to like the 2 degrees. We're already barreling to that one. It's not good. Katie Hobbs' campaign announced that they've defeated Trumper Kari Lake in the governor's race after a new batch of votes just got counted. This is a huge loss for Trumpism and a major win for democracy and decency. Well, it's just mostly, pumping the brakes on the whole fascist train here. Because corporations are legally addicted to profit growth and they buy off all entities who can do anything about mitigating the climate damage. Certainly a major factor here, Maple Leaf Dragon. Certainly. They keep talking about 1.5. It's a farce. Yeah, I keep hearing that, the language has shifted. If you notice, like, the language, especially like with media and articles, if you read a lot of these articles, they're no longer talking about 1.5. They're starting to talk about 2 degrees Celsius. They're starting to talk about 2 degrees Celsius. And of course that that's not good. I guess to just touch back on what Read and Rap was saying, yeah, if you read enough articles and you try to get as much of a grasp on the situation as possible, there's plenty of articles that talk about this kind of stuff. And I see the trend in these publications and whatnot, that 1.5 is being used less and less. They're starting to fall back at 2 degrees Celsius. We'll probably hit to 1.5 by 2030 at this rate. Yeah, should we continue to go down the path that we are? Yeah, it is a possibility. It shouldn't even be used at all. 1.5 is dead. Yep. I don't disagree. I don't disagree. It's just that these people are hanging on to like these metrics that were announced years and years ago without changing much, right? Without changing that much course. Like, yeah, we've had expansions on how, like, expansion on renewable energy. Yeah, we've had expansions like on little things here and there, but big picture, we're still very, very, very much behind. It's a complete joke when people are like, we must reverse course and stick to the Paris Agreement. Right. January 6th announced that Donald Trump has failed to comply with the subpoena, demanding that he appears for deposition today. Vows in days ahead to evaluate their next step due to non-compliance. Well, it's obvious. The next step should be then, if he does not show up, that sounds like contempt of Congress. So, yeah.
We are on a highway to climate hell with our foot still on the accelerator. The war in Ukraine, other conflicts, have caused so much bloodshed and violence and had dramatic impacts all over the world. But we cannot.
Yeah, but not nowhere near. Yeah, you're right. There are some, slight positive trends, but it's the rate at which this is happening. And the reality is, we must fundamentally overhaul our complete way of thinking about this. Failure to do so is only pointing to catastrophe. Yeah, it won't be enough unless we scale up changes, unless we radically unless we radically begin to change our ways. We must fundamentally reorganize our priorities. Unless we do that now, we should still shoot for Paris Agreement, because even if we miss, it will be better than missing too. Oh yeah, no, well yeah, the point being is that this should bring about a sense of urgency, right? The fact that we completely blew it on so many levels, and only locking in worse and worse and worse effects, should only, in a logical sense, ramp up the sense of urgency, right? Like, if you already blew past some like very important tipping points, arguably, that are pretty much with the amount of CO2 and all that we've already dumped, it's already like pretty much GG for some of these tipping points, if not already. Then that should give you, I don't know, in my logical brain, that should give you an even more sense of urgency. Like, hey, we're not making headway here. We need to ramp it up. Yeah, methane is a big one. The hopium is paralyzing people. But we can still save it. Yeah, but like, I think that I think we can curb. Well, regardless, it is our duty to do what we can within our time, within the time that we have, within the tools that we have, right? We should, if if we know that the situation is this effed, if we know that the situation is effed, then it needs, then that should only light a fire under people's arses, right? Citizens need hope, and if you're saying I see what you're saying. If it's in regards to the politicians, right now the Dumango gets you blackballed from discussion. Yeah, well, there's certainly enough evidence. There's certainly enough to be super doomer. There's certainly enough to be super doomer, but that then should be transformed into energy to try to do something about it, right? Man is balking anyone who thinks is even vaguely pessimistic. No, I mean, sheesh, there's plenty of reasons to be pessimistic. But you should probably repurpose that energy and try to, focus and try to see what we can do. I don't think doomerism helps. I think it paralyzes people more than hopium. Hopium keeps me going. Well, it may work on some people. It may not. It just depends. Some people need that light under their arse. Some people need that light under their arse, understanding that it's pretty much effed, and then realizing that, well, if it's going to be pretty much effed, I might as well try to do something about it. That's kind of my the way I think of it, because it's hard. It's hard psychologically as well, like the whole mental game of it too. Understanding the severity of the problem, and feeling so small in comparison, right? But that should only redouble your effort. Well, that should only redouble your efforts to try to do something, because, well, if the situation is so effed, you might as well do what you can before so. Right, nothing left to lose. I mean, we know it's effed, so we might as well try. We know it's effed, so we might as well try. There we go.
We cannot accept that our attention is not focused on climate change. We must, of course, work together to support peace efforts and end the tremendous suffering. But climate change is on a different timeline and a different scale. It is a defining issue of our age. It is the central challenge of our century. It is unacceptable, outrageous, and self-defeating to put it on the back burner.
Hey y'all, it's Becky here from the Beckosphere, where we talk about climate news and solutions. And today, we're talking about that COP27 because
COP27. Still calling 2020 is the new wave of eco-terror. I mean, as things progress, yeah. Astro, long time no see, brother. Hope you're well, my friend. Hey, how's it going? Welcome back. I'm glad you decided to stop by. From multiple angles. Yeah, well, I don't disagree with you.
It's important, I think. Let's talk about it. So now we are through the first week of COP27. For those of you who don't know, COP stands for Conference of the Parties. This is the 27th one organized
bad vibes.
to talk about the climate crisis.
Don't talk to me like that. Oi! Only good vibes, right? But I also feel you.
Arguably the most impacted continent, Africa. African countries represent less than 4% of global emissions, but will likely see some of their populated spaces become uninhabitable due to climate change in the next 50 years or so. The top of mind this year for the climate conference, therefore, is getting wealthy countries to pay for loss and damage funds to help developing countries with the climate worsening events. Developing and emerging economies will need $2 trillion a year by 2030 to handle extreme weather events. It wouldn't be this expensive if we wealthy nations had supported other countries sooner. They've been asking for this for 30 years.
Damn. If only we would have addressed problems from the beginning, it wouldn't be this expensive or wouldn't be this catastrophic. Wow. Amazing. Yeah. way to go, humans. Good job. Cool.
Egypt, who is the host of this year's event, announced that the topic will finally officially be on the conference schedule. Wealthy countries are clearly not great at paying for things because they also haven't started providing the $100 billion a year to developing nations to help them transition to clean energy like they promised all the way back in 2009
I remember Astro.
to begin in 2020.
Okay.
So they have
Now
a lot of time to prep.
yeah.
And now
woke
they're being
underscore
asked
legend.
to step up with the loss and damage funding. Paying for losses and damages is the right thing to do because these countries, again, did not really benefit as much from the Industrial Revolution, which started the whole fossil fuel problem.
Yep,
They're experiencing the consequences of decisions that they had no control over. Additionally, most of the money that developing
Yeah, I
nations
agree with
can
you, Mono.
access right now to help with these loss and damage money comes in the form of loans from the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. Now, world leaders agreed to reform the World Bank to make it more useful for developing countries to access finances, but it looks like that they're still going to continue to do the loan thing, which doesn't really solve the root of the problem, which is that developing countries have been in debt to the IMF and the World Bank for a long time. In fact, the amount of money these countries owe extensively dwarfs the amount of money that they have received in support. And so they're too busy paying off these loans to be able to invest in infrastructure and climate adaptation strategies. So it's just like a vicious cycle. One idea to get them out of this cycle is to create a program that allows for a debt to nature swap, where debt is forgiven if the money that would have gone to that payment instead goes to climate adaptation and conservation methods. This idea has been supported by many developing nations, but so far we're not seeing any support by wealthy nations for that. Instead, Germany plans to announce its Global Shield initiative, which is meant to fix flaws in the humanitarian systems, but critics say that it's just another way for wealthy countries to keep the developing ones burdened through insurance premiums. So this year's climate conference, again, takes place in Africa, takes place in Egypt, specifically Sharm el-Sheikh. And this is the first time that a COP has been hosted by an African country. And we are seeing African voices being heard more due to this, and again, Egypt's government formally putting the discussion of loss and damages on the agenda for the first time in COP history. So that's good that the location will help emphasize African voices, but I'm not really sure Egypt was the best African country to support this effort. Egypt is a heavy fossil fuel user itself, and it also has been known for its human rights abuses. Ahead of the event, we saw Egypt squash activism and protest efforts and cancel event spaces on the first Monday of the conference. And these kind of pavilions are usually
I'm
spaces
just glad to
where
catch you
NGOs,
online.
climate
You're
activists, scientists,
one of the real ones.
celebrities, and
Hey!
politicians alike can exchange ideas.
Thank you. I actually really appreciate that. That means a lot. Thank you. I appreciate that. Beckosphere is so smart and I'm so jealous. True. Oddly enough, non-industrialized countries would be easier to convert the new renewable. Yeah. That's probably correct.
Outside of formal talks. Egypt made it clear to its activists, scientists, and academics that it doesn't want people to talk about corporate interests like tourism, agribusiness, and real estate, military businesses like water bottling plants, cement factories, and quarry
Astro_2D, thank
mines,
you.
and industrial
Welcome
pollution.
back.
And those that did speak out, or those that are in general protesting the government, dozens of them have been already imprisoned. In the end, Egypt did open a space where activists could protest, but it was located way away from the actual venue, so that's purposely not helpful. So already COP27 has been disadvantaged due to its host, and then companies active at the conference weren't ideal either. One of the most well-known things about this conference this year is that it's sponsored by Coca-Cola, which has continuously been ranked one of the top plastic polluters in the world. By allowing the company to sponsor this large climate event, COP27's leadership is helping Coca-Cola greenwash itself. As a reminder, plastic is mainly made of fossil fuels, so the plastic industry is a way for oil and gas industries to stick around into the future, even if our energy sector goes green. So that's one of the reasons why this is incredibly hypocritical. The COP27 Farming Coalition is also under fire for working with the North American Meat Institute, or NAMI, which has openly questioned the origins of climate change on its website. The Agriculture Innovation Mission for Climate, or AIM-4C, was started by the US and the United Arab Emirates during COP26 last year to fund research into agriculture-based technologies meant to reduce the sector's climate impact. NAMI, which represents the largest meat companies in the US, was named a knowledge partner despite questioning climate science. AIM-4C has also been accused of promoting industry-favored techno fixes over meaningful sector reform ahead of COP27. So that's fun. And on top of all that, the American PR firm Hill and Knowlton have been working with Egypt
There
to
we go.
organize it.
I fixed
Hill
it.
and Knowlton has helped the 12 members of the Oil and Gas Climate Initiative, which includes ExxonMobil, Shell, Chevron, and Saudi Aramco, to greenwash themselves and disseminate climate misinformation over the decades. In September, UN Secretary General Gutierrez called out the PR giant for raking in billions to shield the fossil fuel industry from scrutiny. Quote, just as they did for the tobacco industry decades before, lobbyists and spin doctors have spewed harmful misinformation. Fossil fuel interests need to spend less time averting PR disasters and more time averting a planetary one. Hill and Knowlton has also helped Coca-Cola greenwash itself, so we are having a full circle moment. So the combination of activists being silenced and polluting corporations supporting the conference has resulted in famous
Yes, I
activist
saw
Greta
that,
Thunberg
Astro.
opting
They had like a moment where over half of their power came from renewable energy. Yeah, things like this will happen here and there. My only concern, my only concern is the scale and the time. That's really the issue. I forgot the goats. It's okay. I remembered. I remember the goats. As the CEO of the Anti-Glacier Alliance, this is a great thing. Yes, we know.
to boycott the conference
Merchants
this
of
year,
Doubt.
calling
True.
it a scam.
That's
and
actually a
then the
good
countries
book
attending
plug.
did not prepare well for the conference, which was less advertised
Yep,
than COP26.
cigarettes and
All
fossil fuel lobbying.
193 countries
Same
were required
game
to
plan.
update their national determined contributions, preferably to more ambitious goals. NDCs are basically decarbonization pledges. But by the time that the deadline passed, only 19 countries actually followed through with this. And the only country that really had an impact on its NDC update was Australia, which reflects the recent change in leadership. The country has pledged to reduce emissions by 43% by 2030. This target still lags behind its peers in North America and Europe, but it's a positive change for the 15th historically largest emitter. Despite Australia being a bright spot in that previous bullet point, though, Prime Minister Albanese chose not to attend COP27. He was not alone in this decision by far. More than 100 world leaders, including those for China, India, Russia, Canada, Argentina, Brazil, Japan, South Korea, Mexico, Turkey, and Indonesia, opted out of this year's conference, downgrading its importance. President Biden didn't come until Friday because of the midterms. That means only 2 of the top 10 historic emitters saw their leaders attend the first week of the conference, the 2 being Germany and the UK. European leaders did a bit better with attending this event in general. Meanwhile, 33 African leaders attended the conference. Out of the 110 world leaders that did attend the conference, only 7 of them were women, which definitely shows a questionable representation. The number of delegates attending COP27 that has ties to the fossil fuel industry also jumped by 25% compared
Hey,
to last
nice.
year's conference,
Cool,
according to Global
dudes.
Witness. It pointed to 636 people with ties to the fossil fuel industry out of about 35,000 people. So thankfully it's still...
Translation, the Foxes got, 25% more representation in the hen house. Cool, dude.
relatively low, but that still sucks. And the problem especially is that the expected host of COP28, which is the United Arab Emirates, has the vast majority of that spike. Russia is in second place, and many others actually represent African nations. There are more delegates representing fossil fuels than there are representing the top 10 climate change impacted countries, which is gross. Additionally, Egypt told other top oil countries ahead of the conference that it would support gas as a transition fuel. Many financial giants like BlackRock, Citigroup, and Standard Chartered also opted not to come this year. Last month, Bloomberg NEF gave COP27
This is
only
fine.
a 43%
It's okay.
chance of succeeding at anything big. So, lovely. That's the backdrop that we see this year's conference in. It's a shit show. Despite this being the case, it's still important to pay attention to these conferences because things might happen that could potentially put us on a better trajectory. Emphasis on might, because the 2 biggest pledges that came out of last year, which was to reduce deforestation and reduce methane emissions, have made no progress this year. In fact, deforestation and methane emissions both spiked this year, so... But let's hope that the loss and damage funding doesn't experience the same fate. We're still going to get into it. Don't click out, okay? Let's still see what they ended up doing so far this week, okay? We gotta hold them accountable, right? So here are the top 7 things to happen so far out of COP27. Obviously, I might have missed something because there's a lot going on, so if I do, please inform the community down in the comment section below. Before we look at the takeaways for COP27, I just wanted to give a little shout out to all the other platforms that I am on. So if you are interested, definitely check me out on my Instagram account. I have a personal Instagram, which is the Beckosphere, and then I also have one specifically for climate news called the Climate Recap. And then I also post...
True. The only thing slower than George R. R. Martin writing his books is nations agreeing to tackle climate change properly. True. I think every year that goes by, that sets a record. We get like 5 more years behind. Yeah, it feels like it. Pretty sure hemp products could displace most plastic products directly, and it could also clean the soil when growing it. True. But that would mean kicking those companies out, and that's not acceptable in this system. You're making way too much sense, Maple Leaf Dragon, and that's the problem. If we still needed liquid fuel, it can be produced from algae and seaweed byproducts as well as food. Yeah, but like even then, like most of things, if not like most of things except for like I know the airline industry is incredibly tough to decarbonize, and I think there's something else, shipping. The shipping industry, I think, are like the two hardest. One, like the logistics on solving that problem are a little bit complicated. But like we can make so much more headroom on different things, like the building industry, not the way we grow. Hemp can be a massive factor in all of these things, like single-use plastics, construction. That's what I was talking about. Construction. I mean, clothes. You can make clothes out of hemp. I mean, there's just so many things that we can do. It's just aggravating. Yes, the druggy plants. That's right. There's a city in Southern California that literally just had to have a citywide meeting saying that they literally can no longer get water from the Colorado River that we all rely on, and nobody takes the water restrictions seriously. Yep. True. Which is a lot of people, by the way. And that kind of stuff is happening now. Can you imagine, what the deal is in the next 15 years, in the next 20 years? We'll be here. Can you imagine what the situation is in the next 15 to 20 years? What about 30 years? You're trying to get my kids hooked on drugs. True. Mono with the resubscription of your Amazon Prime. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. All of the support really does help. I appreciate you guys subbing. I appreciate the biddies. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Climate news on TikTok as well at
Feel free to skip the show. Nah.
And if you want to see me more candidly, I do Twitch streams twice a week on Tuesday and Friday from 10
that I can
to
help with. Hold
12
on.
Pacific Standard Time. So definitely check me out there. On Tuesdays we go over climate news, and on Fridays we talk about a particular topic. The last topic that we talked about is eco-fascism and eco-authoritarianism. So we kind of go all over the place. Next Friday we're going to talk about different types of batteries. So look forward to that. And then if you are unable to make those, I do have another channel called Beckosphere Streams where I post the Friday episodes on there. So you can see the eco-fascism one there.
Oh,
and again, if you would like
cool.
to support the work I do, because this is what I do, then definitely check me out on Patreon and buy me a cup of coffee for reoccurring and one-time payments. And you can see all the names of the Patreon members who pay $5 or more at the end of each of these videos. So your name could be up there too if you would like it to be. So definitely check those out. And thank you again for all of your support. Remember to give this a subscribe, a like, a comment, and share it with people that might also be interested in the
come back.
climate emergency. All right.
No,
back
there's
to
no
regularly
battery talk.
scheduled
You're good.
program. Number 1. African countries show division over fossil fuels. Tanzania will sign a key agreement with energy companies including Equinor ASA and Shell LPC next month to pave the way for a $40 billion liquefied natural gas project. They claim that they will do everything they can to reduce the project's greenhouse gas emissions. Okay. Meanwhile, the activist and director of the climate think tank Power Shift Africa, Mohamed
Oh,
Addo,
battery. Okay,
accused
I
the
was thinking
EU,
about something else.
particularly
Sorry.
Germany, of
Listen,
using
ignore me.
Africa like a gas station to get off of Russian fossil fuels. He argues this effort is short-sighted and locks Africa into long-term fossil fuel use. Quote, "Our continent is at a crossroads. The message we want to send to Schultz as he comes here is that the days of colonialism are over. We won't accept energy colonialism." The topic of energy colonialism, which has been brought up in both fossil fuels and clean energy, is a discussion for a whole different video, and particularly when it comes to talking about Africa's relationship with fossil fuels. But the basic juxtaposition is that it would be better for African people financially and health-wise to skip the fossil fuel step and go straight to clean energy, but they currently don't have enough financial support to get there, and fossil fuels is an opportunity to make money in the short term. Meanwhile, wealthy countries in Europe and North America in particular are telling African countries to transition faster to clean energy while simultaneously wanting them to export more of their fossil fuels over to Europe. And Europe is also increasing its fossil fuel use, production, and exploration while telling African countries to decarbonize. So hypocrisy, hypocrisy, hypocrisy. The hypocrisy could go much deeper if we look at how the history of colonialism impacts countries' abilities to industrialize, maintain a stable government structure to deal with big issues like climate change, and moderate regional environmental conditions. But again, that's a whole other video. But bottom line, Africa being conflicted on whether or not to continue with fossil fuel use or to move to clean energy and how that would happen is point 1 of this year's conference. And you can see the conflictingness between the announcement of
Right,
the new
that's what's
LNG
so
project in
frustrating about
Tanzania,
like all
and
these
also with
people who are like come in like when you know you start talking about climate change and whatnot. And I say, but what about bro? What about India? What about like, dude? We gotta fix house first. Because then we get, yeah, exactly. Go tell India and China, right? Because then we get this scenario. How exactly are we supposed to even have the audacity to be like, excuse me, excuse me, guys. I haven't showered in a week. Easy clap. Nice. Doing your part.
the think tank guy is saying about fossil fuel use and colonialism. Point number 2, the host of COP28, the United Arab Emirates, touted its fossil fuels as more responsibly sourced energy because it has a lower carbon intensity than other options.
Nice.
Carbon intensity can vary based on how much emissions it takes to extract, produce, and transport the fossil fuels. So it is actually true that the UAE's fossil fuel is less carbon intensive than if it was coming out of California or Canada. Yeah, they are very carbon intense. But fossil fuels are still a main carbon emitter, so I'm not exactly sure why you are touting that information. And touting it as responsibly sourced
They're
energy
renewable.
suggests that they're frankly still not really taking the climate crisis seriously, so that increases my concern of them being COP28's host. Point 3, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia said his country's sovereign wealth fund will target net zero emissions by 2050. Saudi Arabia is the world's top oil producer, so this could be a big deal if they stick to this promise and don't fully rely on carbon capture and offsets. The prince said that they're looking to diversify their energy sources. 4, wealthy countries cough up some money to help developing countries adapt to climate change
Wait,
and
who?
pay for losses and damages.
Who has a Discord? Becky? I think she has a Discord. Yeah, she does. Or are you saying if... Wait. Are you saying if I have a Discord?
Scotland had promised to provide money for losses and damages at $2.2 million. Right before COP27, Scotland's minister upped that amount to $5.7 million.
Wait, I was peer pressured into getting one on stream? What? You were bullied by chat? You were bullied by chat to get one? Oh, okay, yeah. Well, you can try messaging her. Yeah. I was peer pressured to getting one on stream. Translation, I was bullied by chat. No, I'm kidding. Discord, I think, is like a very easy way of just like getting the people who like want to hang out, just like in one place, and it's very convenient if you set it up like, if you set it up, you know. They're having World Cup in every lush green country with abundance of natural clean water. The World Cup is about to start, isn't it?
Denmark said before the conference that it would spend $13 million on this effort as well. And then during the conference, Ireland pledged $10 million towards the effort. Austria pledged $50 million. Belgium pledged $2.5 million.
I got you. How do you advertise your Discord? Yeah. Qatar is a desert. True. How do you advertise Discord? Hey, click the link. That's how I advertise my Discord. Get in there. No, what I do is I have a command that's run by the bot, and the bot is from Stream Elements. So when you go on the back end, you can tell your bot when they type in !Discord, it'll pop the link up. Why don't you pay your mods? I sense a coup. I sense a coup on my hands. I'm watching you. This channel is ruled with an iron fist. Okay, this channel is ruled with an iron fist. There's no such thing. A tin fist. Your mods let me in here. True. I'll need to do that. Yeah. So what I do is like if I have a bot, or if you have a bot, I should say, like a Nightbot or Stream Elements or whatever you use to have like little bots in chat. There should be a way to go in the back and put in custom commands that will generate the links. Yeah. It just depends on what service she has, Mono. That's the only thing. Like if you have Nightbot, you can log into your you can log into like your Nightbot account or something. Yeah. That's right, Arbalin. That's right. Spreading progressive values through authoritarianism. True. That's just the way I do it. That's just the way I roll. Stop it. I think I've tried Nightbot before and I forgot what it was called. Yeah, Nightbot or whatever kind of bot. I pay her in failed expectations.
Please clap.
Whatever bot you use or whatever service you use, I think Stream the Slobs, Streamlabs OBS. There we go. I think Streamlabs OBS has its own bot, so you probably could go into that and see custom commands, because like I have different ones. Yeah, Nightbot is pretty solid. Like I can tell it. If I do !YT, it automatically does the YouTube link. That's what I'm using, Mono, Stream Elements. So what I did was Stream Elements lets you do a custom bot. So I set up an account for the bot, which is named A Difficult Bot. And then I set up that one as the name. Twitch has its own streaming tool that I've downloaded. Yeah, whatever tool it is that you're using, Becky, you can just go in the back or log into it, or if it's on Twitch, you can do that. Astro gifting a tier 1 sub. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And that was to Cauldron Fats. Thank you. Yeah, there you go. You can get the Discord link. I think I even made one for climate change. Did I? Yeah, there we go. Like there's different like custom commands.
And for Belgium, that was specifically for Mozambique, which is interesting. German Chancellor Scholz pledged $170 million towards the country's Global Shield effort after it was announced. And the UK's new PM, Sunak, announced that the nation will triple its funding towards adaptation projects to $1.7 billion by 2025, which is not losses and damages, but it's proactive, so that's good. Despite initially saying that the US would support loss and damage discussions, when it came down to actually following through, the US was noticeably absent for these conversations and pledges. 5. The U.S.'s climate envoy John Kerry announced the U.S.'s carbon credit scheme, where companies can purchase carbon offsets, where the money will go towards helping developing countries move towards clean energy and adapt to climate change. This idea was immediately met with skepticism by the UN Secretary General, European leaders, economists, and climate activists alike. Carbon offsets have been questioned for many years because it's practically impossible to ensure the money from the offsets will actually reduce the emissions that they represent. Oftentimes, these offsets cost much less than they actually should to properly represent the emissions that they're offsetting. Some of the environmental organizations at the US State Department briefed on this plan, like the National Resource Defense Council and the World Resources Institute, don't actually approve of the plan. They say that it could actually undermine efforts to globally decarbonize.
Cool.
So yeah, no one liked that move, US. No one liked it. 6. The US proposed a rule to push all major federal contractors to line up their decarbonization efforts with Paris climate goals. So that's to keep warming at or below 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. We're currently at 1.1, and there's almost no pathway to get to 1.5 at this point, but we should still aim for it. The US is the largest buyer of goods and services, purchasing more than $630 billion just this last fiscal year. So this could be a very big deal coming from the US if the proposal gets backed up and followed through on, but I'm not really sure how it is going to get followed through on, so maybe we'll learn more about that starting next week. 17 environmental and finance experts.
I'm gonna be honest, I have a feeling that a lot of this sounds all cool, but the actual actions behind it, we'll see how much of that materializes or doesn't. I don't know.
With the former Canadian Environment and Climate Minister McKenna to produce a 10-point recommendation for non-state actors to effectively decarbonize without greenwashing themselves. The group called for companies to shift from voluntary net zero initiatives to regulated processes under a national scale. They also recommended inserting emissions data in a UN portal for better transparency. And here are some other recommendations meant to counteract greenwashing. Include Scope 3 emissions, which are emissions that are indirect from supply chain and product end use. Publicly spell out transition plans that show both near-term emissions cuts and spending plans that are consistent with meeting their targets. Disclose information that can be compared to competitors' data. Companies should not claim to be on their way to net zero while continuing to build or invest in new fossil fuel infrastructure, deforestation, or other environmentally damaging activities. Companies should not lobby against government climate policies either on their own or through trade associations. And companies should also not buy cheap emissions credits before cutting their own emissions. Ironically, that last one directly goes against the US's carbon offset scheme. So these recommendations aren't binding in any way, so it'll be interesting.
Asim, so happy I found you online. I have no idea why I wasn't following you. I'm happy you're still around. I looked at my bank account today and saw a little money, then I thought, so I'm paying it forward. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You didn't have to do that. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Like support people like you and Beckosphere. I plan on becoming more politically active again, and at least supporting people like y'all. I need to go work on my stream and make some emotes again, but happy to see you. Hey, if you're streaming, let us know. Because we can always shout you out. Hold on. If you want a shout out, let me know. Thank you thank you, Mono. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Wow. Cool. Thank you so much. That's like the biggest follow I've had all day. Thank you, Mono. I appreciate that. Thank you. F-bombs for you. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that.
Interesting to see if any leaders actually take their proposals seriously. I almost missed this one, but it's like actually one of the most important things to come out of the conference so far, so let's talk about it. 8. UN officials unveiled a detailed roadmap and cost
So happy to
estimates
see you.
make
Thank you so much. And
early
again, if you
warning
need a
systems
shout out, if
accessible
you're
for
streaming,
everyone.
if you're
Some of the
starting to
most vulnerable
stream,
places to extreme
sorry. If you're starting to stream, let us know. I mean, I'll give you a shout out.
weather events have no or inadequate early warning systems. Only half of the world's nations have access to an early warning system, and that's a big deal because countries without an adequate early warning system experience a disaster mortality rate 8 times higher than those with good systems. The officials are
Sheesh.
working with tech companies like Microsoft, financial agencies, etc. on this effort. The 4 pillars they want to tackle are data collection and risk management, development of hazard monitoring and early warning services, building national and local response capabilities, and communication of understandable information. Early warning systems and organized responses are essential climate adaptation measures as wildfires, floods, hurricanes, and droughts get worse and continue to become more common. So this was an important development to come out of this conference. And those were the 7 things that came out of COP27 so far. I know a lot of them are not actually anything, but they could be something. I think it is also important to remember that while these conferences are usually a letdown, we have slowly moved the needle from expecting about 5 degrees warming above pre-industrial levels to now 2.5 degrees Celsius. 2.5 degrees Celsius is still catastrophic climate change, but progress has been made despite it really not feeling like any progress has been made year by year. So we're not talking as much about needing massive geoengineering schemes like we used to, and that's a good thing. Anyways, let me know what you think of the COP27 backdrop and takeaways so far. Is the conference going better, worse, or about the same as you expected? For me, I would say it's about what I expected, but maybe actually a little bit better because I wasn't actually expecting countries to provide any new loss and damage funding. It's definitely not enough since pledges were in the millions and the catastrophe in Pakistan
Yeah, not only
alone
that,
is
like
estimated-
where are we with like the stuff that we talked about in the last COP26? That's my question with all these countries and whatnot. Like, it's very frustrating.
to cost about $15 billion to recover from, but it actually was more than I expected, so I guess I have low standards. Anyways, I will be back next with some more climate news outside of COP27. Until next time, remember to talk about the climate crisis every single
True.
day and to support your local news organizations. Thank you so much to the people on Patreon who help support me and my fur baby Rue.
That's
A
so
special shout
cute.
out to the climate confident and courageous David H, Norman Anal,
I really
Greg
like
H,
the
Paul
cat.
B, Phil
By the way,
Plasma,
if you
Dan
guys
Morton,
if
Dave
you guys
Chris,
go on the stream, sometimes Rue the cat will make appearances, so I'm just saying. More stuff happens on the second week of COPE. All right. Well, we'll keep looking at it. I will let you know, but it's not necessary. I just want good vibes from Red who deserve them. Thank you. I appreciate you. Always covered the issues in a productive way. Never really just became a debate lord. And only to stream to dunk on chuds like I would. You educate people and have done it for years now and just showing my appreciation. True. The only people I do that to are trolls. That's true. That's very true. But I appreciate that, and I will continue to do so, Astro, until I can't. I will continue to do that. Thank you. I appreciate those encouraging words, and I guess that means I'm doing something right. I appreciate that. All right, folks. Do the thing. Subscribe to the channel. She does phenomenal work. You already know the drill. Subscribe to the channel. She does 2 streams a week. I'll also be there in chat. All right, folks. It is way past 8:30. For me, I am starving. I have not eaten, so I got to get some food. Carlos is a mod. True. That is very true. That is very true. I am starving. Time to get my COVID booster. Oof. It's not that bad. You'll feel achy for like a day, but it'll be alright. I'm a weenie? Oh no. Good luck. Usually the way I deal with it, it's just like I don't think about it, you know? I just don't think about it. Alright, folks, I do gotta get going. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Thank you so much for all the support. Thank you for all the subs, the gifted subs, the biddies, all the follows, the back-to-back-to-back raids. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. You guys have been incredible. Let me just go through a quick gauntlet of shoutouts. First of all, thank you to Levelhead for the massive raid. Thank you, Globus the Elder, for the massive raid. Alia with another raid. Just back-to-back-to-back raids. Thank you so much. Mono with the Prime sub. Astro with the gifted sub. F-bombs for you. Astro Low Worth Orbit. Aberline. And Balfour with the follows. Alia with the biddies. With the 20 biddies in total. Susie Foreman with the 100 biddies. Thank you so much. I was listening in. I'm still here. Thank you. Hey, Dr. Dragon Rider. Appreciate it. Another fellow Majority Reporter. Thank you. Majority Report chatter. Thank you. I'm glad you were hanging out, even if you were just listening. I appreciate that. Once again, folks, thank you guys so much. If you guys want to support the channel, feel free to do it in whatever ways you can. Hit the follow button. Do whatever it is that you can. If you have a moment, hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel. It really does help us out. Spread the word far and wide that this is the chillest place to be. Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be back tomorrow. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. We love you all, and we hope to see you guys in the next one tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, folks. We are going to get some food. See ya. Thank you, Becky, for hanging out. Appreciate it. Maple Leaf Dragon. Have a good night as well. Hey, Berlin, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hang tight, everybody. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See ya.